Hello, this is Jon Speelman with a roundup of round two of the fourth Sinquefield Cup. It's been a fantastic day's play with extreme violence, and the main game, which I'm probably going to do later, Hikaru Nakamura against Giri, is still reeling on. It looks as though Hikaru is going to win now, but well, it still hasn't finished, and certainly, if it weren't a classical game, if it were quicker, then anything could happen. Anyway, there's been lots of bloodshed, and we'll start with the world number two, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, who's had a bad day against Viswanathan and Anand, and I'm going to go through it very quickly, just and go through and take the general points. Okay, it's really nice in one of these top tournaments to see somebody not playing one e5 or one c5, I have to say. It's an absolute joy. And there was a French, I think, yesterday, wasn't there? It's just, there's a feeling that maybe they're going to branch out and even play all the many awful openings I play, rather than just e4, e5. Okay, Vichy went knight f6, e5, knight e4, which is an interesting idea. And knight e2 is the way to try to take advantage of this. Queen b6, d4, e6, knight g1. So you're threatening f3, and I presume that there are no sensible sacrifices. So black has to choose between h6 and f6, and if h6, maybe h4's a move. No, he went f6, f3 knight, take, f4 knight. So they've got I don't know, this position has probably happened before, but it's quite original. Very messy. And now the king has to move, and, well, black is quite solid, but he's a bit disorganized. And there are questions about whether white could try to go queen f7 at some moment. I don't know. I'm going to bash through this for a while. a4. I thought he might go f5. I don't know. f5 takes, check, bishop d6, takes, castles. Just look like the sort of thing you do to me. And then you can play knight h3 next, or knight e2, probably knight h3, and start hacking. Of course, it's a lot easier to sacrifice other people's pawns than your own. So a4 threatens to trap the queen. c5, making some room for her. Knight, rook, bishop b3, and the f5. I presume if queen takes b2, king f2 would have been, or castles, would have been very scary. Castles. You certainly can't take on b2 at the moment because of rook a2, I think, is unpleasant. Or is rook... No, sorry, rook b1 would be a disaster, wouldn't it? And, okay, Anand is just staying on the board and fighting hard. That looks strong, and I think he perhaps underestimated queen e7 or even missed it. I don't know. That's a typical wriggly move which manages to stay on the board, because otherwise he'd be in deep trouble. Queen h6, bishop d6, and okay, I mean, it's still incredibly complicated. Rook a d1, bishop f2, rook f6, queen h4. Machines like actually queen h3, bishop takes d4, bishop h4, but it's very, very unlikely a person would do that, because giving up the exchange for that pawn and the two bishops looks great, even if it isn't. Knight d5. Right, so at this point, a normal continuation would have been bishop takes, pawn takes, queen g3 to go to e3. And funny, the machine, when I stuck a machine on it, just said when he threatens to mate on a7, then you put your rook on a6, which is sort of faintly extraordinary to me, but that's what Houdini wanted